In a chilling case of gang violence and revenge, two Indian origin men, Jaskaran Singh Sidhu and Prabjot Bhatti, have been sentenced to life in the prison in Canada, and that too for a brutal killing of two other men of Indian descent. The murders took place in Calgary back in 2019 and were a direct result of a gang war stemming from an earlier stabbing incident in 2016. The victims, 25-year-old Jasdeep Singh and 22-year-old Japneet Malhi, were known drug dealers, and their deaths were part of violent dispute involving criminal activities in the city. Both Sidhu and Bhatti are convicted of first-degree murder for their roles in executing the deadly attack. The two men, both 25-year-old, are set to serve life sentences with no eligibility for parole for at least 25 years. However, both have appealed their conviction, claiming errors during their trial, including issues with the jury's instruction and the introduction of certain evidence, which they argue led to an unreasonable verdict. The appeal hearing is yet to be scheduled. Now, the murder was carried out on the orders of Amandeep Sagu, an individual with a very well-known history of drug smuggling and gang violence. Sagu, who is of Indian descent, masterminded the killing as an act of revenge for a stabbing incident that occurred in 2016. Let me tell you, in that earlier attack, Japneet had stabbed Sagu, and Sagu had long harbored plan to retaliate. Despite the fact that Sagu had not cooperated with the police back in 2016 incident and had no press charges, he took matters into his own hand a year later. Now, this particular deadly ambush took place as Singh and Malhi, along with Malhi's girlfriend, were leaving a launch and entering Singh's Mercedes SUV. A sedan approached them and shots were fired from the passenger seat, killing both the men on the spot. Sagu, the mastermind, was reportedly in the vehicle at the very same time of the attack, and he later pleaded guilty to manslaughter in connection with the killing. He was sentenced to nearly 8 years in jail. That's not it. In addition to his role in the murders, Sagu was charged with multiple offences, and that too, all those offences were related to organised crime and drug trafficking. Following an 18-month investigation into violent drug networks spanning Western Canada, he was charged with crimes such as trafficking controlled substances, producing controlled substances, and possessing property obtained through criminal activities. Back in December 2021, these charges came to the light as part of a broader crackdown on gangs' illegal operations. Now, a key piece of evidence came from a protected witness referred to as WA, who actually testified that he was being instructed to verify the victim's presence inside the launch before passing on the information to Sidhu and Bhatti. The two men waited for about 90 minutes before carrying out the deadly attack. The witness, again referred to as WA, also described an earlier encounter that particular night with the sedan used in the shooting. According to his testimony, Sidhu had pointed a gun at him, warning, "You are lucky you didn't get shot," further implicating him in the violent event that actually unfolded. Now, fast forwarded to the recent time, during the trial, the defense argued that the prosecution has actually failed to prove who was in the sedan during the shooting. He also questioned the reliability of WA's testimony, suggesting that it may not be trustworthy. Now, despite all these arguments, the jury deliberated for an entire day before returning guilty verdict for both Sidhu and Bhatti. Meantime, Justice Karen Horner imposed the mandatory life sentences on both the men. However, as previously mentioned, that they have both filed appeals which have put their convictions on hold for that period of time. The particular appeal is on the basis of their contention that errors in the trial process resulted in a verdict that was not just. Now, this particular case highlights the ongoing issue of gang violence, including Indian origin individuals in Canada, with several men of Indian descent becoming victims of such criminal dispute in recent years. The case also raises a concern about the extent of organized crime within the certain immigrant communities and the length to which some individuals are willing to go for revenge and take over illegal activities like drug dealing. While the justice system has delivered its verdict for now, the appeal process will determine whether the convictions stand or if new development will alter the outcome. The case continues to shed light on the darker side of Canada's criminal landscape and the ongoing battle against gang-related violence. For more such information, do follow TimesXP.